It's that time of year where it is hot. Sometimes it's cold. Either way, you need an expert. We've got somebody here to talk about it. Schraer Heating and Cooling, your comfort fix since 1946. Stay tuned for this one, everyone. Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. We get to talk to innovators, creative people who've taken the risk, the gamble to start a business. I've done it myself a few times. We're doing well with this one. In studio here we have a guest, an expert, somebody who's been doing this for a long time. Welcome our guest in studio, Your Little Castle, Jake Nielsen. Jake, how are you?
Good. How are you, Carter?
Owner, I'm great. Owner, you decided, hey, I got to get in this business 11 years. How long ago did you start in the industry? 12, 13?
So I got into the industry first by working for a company called Emerson, which makes the parts that go into air conditioners, and they're actually based in St. Louis. So
yeah, they're a big national company too, aren't they?
Yeah,
but they are based in St. Louis.
Yeah, and that's where I got into it, and then in 2023 decided to get into it fully and buy a business. So
become a business owner. Yeah, there are businesses out there that have been established, and if you can do a good job, take over a business, make an arrangement, and you said, hey, these guys have been in business for a long time, 1946, and they said, all right, we'll let you take this company over, but you better do it right. Is that kind of the agreement?
That's exactly what it was, yes.
And so with that, you've decided, all right, now you're a full-time business owner, and now you're really responsible. My dad made the joke with me a long time ago. He says, Carter, when you start your own company, now everybody is your boss. What's it like now when you're a big corporation? That was a good job. You like that. But now you said, I want to have more control. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, that's totally true. So it is interesting to be your own boss, which does mean that customers are your boss, and you have to be very good at ensuring your reputation is upheld in the business. And that's what's been exciting to me, is just being able to get to know customers and take care of them firsthand.
Well, like myself, I decided, hey, I love the corporate world. That was fun. Did that for a long time, but wanted to be more hands-on, be more in control of my own destiny. So here you are. Great move, great reputation. Look at the great reviews we're going to show you here as well, everybody. But we like to have great leaders on our show, and we have some great sponsorships. So give a shout out to Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things. Where do you like nice things? In your little castle, right? And you might as well have a nice castle that is also cooled in a professional manner so that you can have everything. Schraer Heating and Cooling, heating and air, HVAC. There's a number of acronyms thrown around in your industry.
Yeah.
Your comfort fix since 1946. You might want to start to think about investing for your long-term future. You should start doing that sooner than later. Go to My Metal Pro, and you can find more information there. Get their information. Go to goldcowboy.com. Gold Cowboy. We've got a little sponsor here. For those who are in our big leagues, we're going to come talk about this in a minute, but My Metal Pro, go to Gold Cowboy and get more information about our guests, some of the secrets that they share. We highlight what it is that sets them apart. Go to Big, that's BIGG, leagues.com, and learn more about that. All right, let's get into it here. I love your website. You guys did a great job there. And
Thank you.
Obviously some expertise put into place there with those who know how to make websites. So good job on that. And a Facebook page. Everybody understands nowadays, I've only had one client, I won't name names, who they had not yet created a Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
And they're a relatively new company, so it kind of made sense. But boy, get that Facebook information out there, because people they'll dig in a little bit about it, and then that's where you kind of constantly be posting, right, and sharing with the community. So you've got a lot of followers there and a lot going on that. But let's get into it. Why did you decide this? Even when you were working at Emerson, what led you into that industry with Emerson, and then what ultimately brought you here?
Well, I went to grad school in Indiana, and I got recruited by Emerson to work on air conditioning compressors, which is one of the most boring things nobody ever thinks about. Nobody dreams of growing up to become an air conditioning compressor manufacturer.
Hey, we got to compress things for air conditioners. That sounds
Somebody's got to do it. And I was lucky enough to be on a really fun team that took the work very seriously, and I learned a lot. I worked with the best in the industry. Emerson has some of the best minds in the HVAC industry, and it taught me an enormous amount about business and HVAC, which is now what I'm trying to leverage with owning my own business.
Yeah, I mean, that's that leap. You go from corporate. I did the corporate thing and learned a lot there in the marketing space. So I got into the running my own marketing company agency. Likewise, though, you said, hey, man, this is my expertise. Boy, but by the time you've got some expertise beyond what any other normal HVAC company may have, because you're the guy behind the scenes actually developing the hardware that gets installed. Is that true?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I can talk to anybody for hours and bore them to death about compressor thermodynamics and electronic controls. And it's been fun because I've been able to understand the product evolution in the industry a lot more, I would say, than your average HVAC owner, and that's just because of the exposure I had by working at Emerson full time for so long.
Yeah, a master's degree you said there too. So that meant you were really studying this. Now, that was an engineering side of that, or what?
It was business. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then with that expertise, and then getting right into Emerson on the development side, really, right? Is you helping to design the way these things, and how do you compress more efficiently, and the voltage and power. There's a million things, I guess, that can be variables with all of that. So you've really got a mind now that understands, here's the technology, here's what's coming, and then better be able to fit your customers to get what they need, I guess, right?
That's exactly it. I spent so many hours figuring out, what does it cost to run a inefficient air conditioner for, several summers, and let's say you didn't get maintenance done. What does that cost a homeowner? I built Excel models ad infinitum at Emerson and gave presentations on what the effects are of coming out with new technologies like heat pumps that are very energy efficient and fully electric for both heating and cooling. And it was just a very interesting exposure to the details of the HVAC technology.
Well, I would say ultimately, when you start talking about it, we do a cost analysis, everybody. I've got a slide in here. One of my questions, I write down everything, everybody, because I'm getting old. I can remember things. But I say, give me that cost analysis. How often do people end up having an old, inefficient system that they're spending an extra, I don't know, $50, $100 a month because of the efficiency? And if they would have upgraded, it could have paid for the system over the next 5, 7 years, whatever, if they just had something more efficient. Is that what you're helping people understand?
Totally. Yeah, and actually what we discovered while I was working with Emerson, and it's been verified in the field work that I do now, is a lot of HVAC systems, about half of the HVAC systems out there are running inefficiently. And that means they've been dirty and haven't been cleaned, or there's been a leak and some of the Freon has leaked out and it's just continuing to run and waste the homeowner's money. And what we've done is the industry has figured out new technologies that have made it a lot more efficient to get into a much better utility bill than what you've had before, and get effectively financing through the savings in utility costs by, if you bought a new system, you're going to spend, maybe if you finance it, you're going to spend $100, $200 a month, but you're going to start saving anywhere from $50 to, in some cases, $100 a month on that. So it becomes a very affordable option to get a new system if your existing system has been running.
Yeah, I was saying, give me some kind of a breakdown with regard to, I hate saying the word breakdown when you talk about air conditioners, right? but an analysis, if you will, like, as I'm diving in here a little bit, techie nerd.
Yeah.
Analytics, I was a senior technical analyst for Anheuser-Busch. I had to dig apart the IT systems, bits, bytes, everything. But how old is a system before it's really likely much less efficient than what you would buy new that would effectively pay for it, but people will keep running these older systems?
Yeah, good question. Anytime you have a system that's over 10 years old, it's going to be on the less efficient side. And that's partly because most people aren't doing proper maintenance, and that leads to excessive wear on the system, and it makes it so that it's just working a lot harder in order to do the same amount of work.
So does it boil down to an energy bill that you're spending? Either then there's gas furnace normally, like pretty typical, but then the electric is almost always the case for the summer for the AC, right? And so if you're spending $125 when you could have spent $75 energy because that thing's just not producing. Okay, how does that help me understand that? So that when it has to cycle more often. Why is it being less efficient as a matter of the way it's functioning and be dirty and et cetera, maintenance and all those things.
Right. So the way to think about it is if you've got the air conditioner outside and let's say it's gotten coated with pollen or that stuff that just kind of floats around, the cotton looking
It gives
stuff.
that brown, filmy, like
Yes.
spider web stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a real thick spider web. I've cleaned off my.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
And if it's coated in that, and I was just looking at a customer system that had tons of that on it, and he was spending, this was a commercial business, he was spending like thousands a month on energy, and about a third of that bill was just waste because he was completely coated. We were able to clean it off. The issue is it can't breathe. So an air conditioning system is like our lungs. It's got to breathe in and out, and it's got to expel the warm air out of your house when it's cooling, and it's got to intake the cool air as well. So what it's doing is it can't breathe when it's coated, and that makes the compressor heat up and work a lot harder. It's just going to get hotter. It's just kind of like if your car is running at 7,000 RPM, even if you're only going 55 miles an hour, you can be in the wrong gear. It's going to cost you a lot of money because that car's running at 7,000.
Yeah, so it's not just the power use; it's the wear and tear. You're gonna.
Yeah.
That's when you start breaking compressors, and then A coils. Is that another? I don't know, all those pieces I've learned a little bit about. But by the time you're putting that kind of wear and tear, it's not just the electrical bill that you're going to pay extra for. It's the parts you're going to be replacing sooner, and then you might end up wearing out a unit. What's the average unit last these days?
You should be able to get 12 to 18 years out of an AC, and sometimes you're going to get 15 to 20 out of a furnace.
Okay. Yours truly, I finally just replaced mine 21 years later.
Yeah, you did pretty good,
We limped around long for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But it was, that's a matter of, if you properly take care of these things, is what you're talking about. That's one of the most important things you need to make sure, because it's just, I didn't realize it as a matter of, we've had a couple of HVAC guys in here, but we hadn't talked about this. But it's literally the flow of the air. Bottom line, it's a fairly simple process, if I understand this right. It's just taking air and running it across cold coils, right? And those the coils cause the air then, as it flows through there, to reduce in temperature.
Yeah.
So the AC part of it, right?
That's exactly right.
It's not like they magically chemically change the air.
No.
It's just saying, here's a device that is very, very cold, run it like an ice cube kind of thing, but it's a lot more efficient than an ice cube, I guess. But that's how's that really kind of a simple version of it. And now you got to make sure that all those pieces are running properly and cleaned.
Yeah.
Not leaking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, the thermodynamics are interesting, and the engineer in me would love to go deep into that. But the main idea is when an air conditioner is on, the refrigerant is flowing into the house, and it's going to get very cold when it gets into the main A coil, the box underneath the fan, or on top of the fan in most cases. And when it blows the fan across that box, it's going to blow cold air into your house, and it's going to actually take that heat from your house and suck it outside and throw it outside. That's why when you go outside and you feel the air coming out of the
you walk past somebody's, what is the compressor? What is the thing on the outside of the house called?
It's called the condenser.
Condenser, yeah.
Yeah.
The condenser, you feel those things like, boy, if you ever needed a sauna, that's a great place to just hang out because it's very hot.
It's hot.
Or those things. But it's literally just taking all that air that it's pushed out and it was hot, get it out of the house.
Right.
That's just a simple concept. But got to be maintained and run efficiently.
Yes. That's exactly right.
So it's vented versus, and we got to take a break here, but vented versus ductless. Do you have a preference? Right. I've been learning a lot about that recently. We got our new ductless here not too long ago. Benefits to each.
Yeah, so vented is obviously what most homes are built for. So if you have a vented system, you're going to want to get a new vented system, but in a lot of cases, you may have rooms, say at the far side of the house, or an add-on room or bonus room that's just not getting adequate heating or cooling. And in those cases, ductless is amazing. They're called mini splits, and they have a little thing outside and a little thing you hang on the wall, and those are just like you have in this room right now. They're fantastic solutions for handling unusually warm or cold spots in the house.
Very cool. All right, we'll talk more about that. We've got some fun stuff we did in the community most recently. We're going to share a little bit of that fun with you, and then we'll be back here to talk more about how to be efficient with your home. Stay tuned here, everybody. Giddy up. All right, everybody, I've got Jackson now. I hired as my highly priced videographer. We didn't say highly paid, we said highly priced. Come on up here, Jackson. So, this is your dad, right?
Yes, sir.
Kevin. A couple things I noticed about Kevin. Awesome jersey he's got on there, right? Another thing really cool. Veteran, everybody. Air Force. And
Army.
And the Army. Served in both.
Served in both.
Protecting us, keeping us safe.
Absolutely.
Help us maintain this little thing we like called freedom, where we
Freedom.
can go to Cardinal games whenever we want
Whenever
to.
you want, walk downtown and have a good time and be safe.
Tell me what you love about when you served in the military, real quick. I'm gonna ask you what you love about the Cardinals. Come on up here a little bit, though.
I actually work on military bases pretty much on a weekly basis, and so I love going to the military base and make sure that I do telecommunications. So I want to make sure that we provide the communications that's going to help them perform and do the things they need to do.
That's important.
That's what I want.
That's what I went for grad school thing for. I'm communications. If you can't communicate, nothing else matters.
I agree, 100%.
Thank you for your service there. What do you love about the Cardinals?
What do I love about the Cardinals? Well, they're the best team in the country. You know, they got more fans. It's the greatest thing to come see. I don't care. I've been to New York games. I've been everywhere, and the Cardinals are number one in my opinion.
There's people around the country.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! Well, cool. Lots of fun stuff we get to do in the community and just kind of share the message of what we're trying to encourage people. Everybody's gone through some kind of a hurdle in life, it seems. It's like you almost haven't been living on this planet if you haven't been through something. And so we like to share a little bit what I overcame and encourage other people that they can overcome anything they're willing to work hard to set their mind to. Also, let's jump back in here with regard to your business, though, as far as reviews go. And that's something we love to talk about because how often is it the case that people make their decision based on what other people are saying about the business? And so with that, we'll put up here on the wall, go to the wide view here. I'm going to click on the Google reviews and take a look here. So 319. You guys have been working on this for a little while. A 4.7. If you get anything over like a 4.3, you're like in the elite zone. And so here we are. We'll just pick. I'm going to pick randomly. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. I'm selecting, randomly selecting question number. Let me go back out here. This is Wyatt Cooper. And what did Wyatt have to say? Do you remember Wyatt? Did you work with Wyatt?
I don't remember him specifically, but it looks like what he did was they had us come out and actually give a new system quote. And I believe we installed a brand new system for him, and he was very happy about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking at the specifics here. My AC unit was 15 years old. That's about that time you're talking about. And due for replacement, working with Schraer was an easy process, and they dispatched a representative within 24 hours. The inspector sales rep was very professional, helped me find the best unit for my use and budget. Both of the techs installed the new unit, they went over the questions and concerns I had, and were easy to work with. I would do business with them again and recommend them for their timeless, professional, and attentiveness. That's kind of somebody going out of the way there to give some details. How's that make you feel? Let's see that kind of a review.
Really good. Obviously, our reviews really matter because we're trying to make sure every customer is fully happy and satisfied, and that's our guarantee. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and if we can't meet that, then we're going to do whatever we can to fix it.
To make it right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the way successful businesses operate, and it's good to see you've adopted that strategy, because how often is it the case that we see businesses just kind of like, especially that's why I'm a big advocate for smaller businesses, because you're literally getting to talk to the owner. That's why we put the Cardinal Cowboy hat on everybody, doing our thing to help the community. But you're the owner and the president, but you probably also talk to a lot of the clients because you're not such some big giant corporation with 400 service reps, what do you call them? Techs, I'm thinking, out in the field. They got a problem, they can talk to the owner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I give my cell phone out often, and anytime a customer needs to talk to me, they're always able to reach out.
Well, that's got to make everybody feel much better about the purchase, because this is a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 ticket people are looking at, and when they're going to spend that kind of money, you don't want something like, wait a minute, why do I feel this or the vent there? And there's usually a good explanation for it that they just didn't understand, but are they going to call some 1-800 number and get put on hold and transferred 7 times? Not going to be the case here.
No, absolutely not. In fact, when you call our number, there's not even a phone tree. It goes straight to somebody. So right when the phone is answered, it's literally a person in our office that's going to take care of you. If you call after hours, we do have a different setup for that. But when you're in during office hours, there's no phone tree, straight to a person.
I like that phone tree. You know what we're talking about? It goes to this branch, and then it goes over here, and you press a button, it goes back to this way.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk specifics, because I know the companies that for whatever reason, I've seen banks very often are that way. But it's like, geez, can I just talk to somebody?
Yeah.
And if they will be able to decipher what I'm saying and send me directly to the right person, kind of the way you guys do it. During the day, that's the way you've always got. After hours, I can imagine that. You've got to get a hold of people after that point. But
yeah, it gets routed differently.
And you do emergency work if necessary.
We do, yes.
Okay. Very cool. All right, well, we'd love to see those reviews. What I like to do then is a quick cost analysis. We talked about it a little bit in the first show, where we went over a little bit of like, you're going to spend some money here either way, but there's times when you can do a repair and you don't need to spend the money. And you talked about just kind of the age of the equipment and the maintenance that people had either done, or the lack thereof, that probably does then end up with where, well, that's why it's breaking down. It's breathing, and it's like a human. If you cause congestion, you're going to have problems. Give me a breakdown for somebody if they say, okay, when is it time to repair, or when is it time to replace?
Yeah, great question. We get this a lot. Our customers that have a system, especially if it's, say, 8 to 12 to 15 years old, that's where it is worth doing the exercise. And the way to think about it is, it's got to be an ROI. So if you can invest a little bit more money into it, how much longer are you going to get out of it? And that's the effective ROI calculation. And we like to use this quick rule of thumb where if the age of the unit times the cost of the repair is greater than $5,000, then you should get a new system. If it's less than $5,000, then you should do the repair. So an example. Let's say you have a 5-year-old system and there's going to be a $500 repair. Well, that's $2,500 is what that comes down to. It's obviously worth adding that $2,500 expense because you're probably going to get another 5, 10, maybe even 15 years out of that system. But if you have a 10-year-old system and you have that same, repair, maybe it's $500 or $1,000 repair, now you've crossed that threshold of $5,000 and it becomes worth looking at the new system. And that's where we come. We'll actually do a full evaluation for you, and we'll do an energy calculation as well as give you multiple options to review for your home and your needs.
That's why I broke out the pencil for that one. Write that one down if you can. Give me the quick equation one more time.
Yeah.
500 and then times. Go one more. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's the cost of the repair times the age of the system. Okay. So get the cost of the repair first. Let's say it's, again, $500 for a repair times the age. If the age of your equipment is 10 years, that's right at that breaking point. That's where it's equal to $5,000. But if it's less than 10 years old and maybe $500 still, then it's worth the repair.
Okay, yeah, because that's a budgetary decision we always make because we don't want to just blow money on something that we spend a lot of money on,
Right.
2, 3, 5, whatever it is, $1,000, and then that's a good chunk of change going towards a new system that's going to be much more efficient. And then is that part of the equation? That kind of just makes a general sense, incorporating that $100 a month they might save by having a more efficient system on your electrical bill on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. And most people don't realize how much better their system could perform in their house. And with the new technology, there's so many benefits. It's far quieter. It does a much better job of dehumidifying the home and drying it during the really hot and muggy summers that we have here. And it can also be a very good cost savings on your energy bill. So those are the factors that we like to educate people on when we come and do a comfort analysis. And when we do that, typically what we find customers doing is we have very aggressive pricing in terms of we can get very affordable, but when we educate them on the benefits of the higher end systems, they end up opting for those and they love it. When they get them and they realize how quiet it is, how much more efficient and how much more comfortable it is in the home, we hear great reviews from them.
That's one of those, it falls into that category we have. Cheap can get very expensive, right?
Yes.
If you're trying to cut corners, now you're getting a system that's not as efficient.
Yeah.
You're going to end up spending a lot more money in the long run, and it's not worth it to cut corners.
That's right.
All right, everybody, we've just finished our first half hour, but I'm going to hit Jake up with one more question. So we're going to finish right now. Why should somebody choose you guys? You got 3 seconds. Give me your best shot.
So I would say it's because of the comfort guarantee. We have the best in the industry. It's 12-year warranty on parts and 12-year warranty on labor. And that means when you buy from us, you're worry-free for 12 years.
There it is, everybody. Stay tuned.